Inner Peace, Better Health, where each episode explores the intersection of strength, healing, and transformation. Today, I'm honored to welcome Robert Wheeler, a Navy veteran, former federal police officer, and founder of Battlefitted, a personal development brand dedicated to turning pain into progress. Rob's journey from battling PTSD, anxiety, and depression to reclaiming his power through fitness, mindset, and discipline is nothing short of extraordinary. Through his coaching, podcast, and speaking, he is helping others rise above adversity and tap into their inner warrior. Welcome to the show, Rob. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today.
Mhm. So, Rob, you have lived through incredible challenges in both military and law enforcement roles. What was the moment that made you decide to take your healing and transformation into your own hands?
That's a very good question. And there's a lot of things that developed to me becoming a personal development coach and learning what worked for me. The main thing is I realized in 2018, I had opened up my own gym. I was a strength and conditioning coach. And I lost my gym due to COVID, as much as small businesses did. And I knew that I wanted to continue to coach and help people. But at the time, needing to have employment, support my family, I decided to go back into law enforcement. And from day one, I was just miserable. I just didn't want to be there. I didn't like the work anymore. I didn't have the love or the passion for it. Dealing with people in a negative light just really was an energy drainer. And I knew that I was destined or had a personal responsibility to do more and be more. So at that point, I decided to leave the police department and take my uh, coaching skills from my fitness perspective and then my coaching skills from a law enforcement and military perspective to create Battle Fitted, the veteran mindset brand.
Absolutely. And what was the first small step you took toward that healing?
Um, the first step is just realizing that I had to change my mindset and my belief system. With someone that has mental health issues, I was always operating in the dark. I was always negative. Everything was kind of very bleak and black, and my life sucks, and I hate this, and I don't like that. I had to have a mindset shift, and it just was kind of a breaking point. I was listening to another podcast or something, and they were talking about practicing gratitude, which was something that I never did because I was always negative. So I started to go to bed every night, and whether it was through prayer or meditation or just speaking it to the universe, I would think of three things that I was thankful for, whether it was my wife, my house, having a roof over my head, food in my stomach. And that literally could have been the same three things every night or three different things. And then when I woke up in the morning, the first thing I would say to myself is, it's going to be a good day. Now, initially, I'd have to say that over and over and over and over again from operating from a place of negativity. It was very hard to get out of that mindset, but just repeating that healthy habits instead of negative habits that completely started to shift my perspective. And then I really started to dive deeper into the personal development and realize that there's a lot there to use to help heal us and help us be 1% better each and every day.
Mhm. That moment of choice is so powerful. Choosing to fight for yourself.
Definitely. I love to tell people that you have to be comfortable in being uncomfortable. And if you can learn that, which it's very hard, it's something that you have to practice over and over again, that almost becomes like a superpower because it makes you more resilient. And then what happens is, well, each and every day, if you're dealing with just little minute issues, like maybe someone cut you off in traffic or someone's rude to you or whatever, you realize that the intention and the energy put into fighting back and being emotionally charged due to that incident, it's not worth it. So you start putting your energy into things that hold more value and purpose.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, you often say that fitness saved your life. How did fitness help you mentally and emotionally, not just physically?
That's a great question. So when I first got out of the military, a lot of veterans we get depressed because we kind of lose our purpose. We lose our tribe. We lose the people that we've been around with for so long, especially someone like me who was in for 10 years. And with injuries and the depression and mental health issues, once again, you go to a very deep and dark place. And it's not that you can't work out anymore. It's not that even if you have injuries that you can't do some form of activity, but we get to this place where we just kind of give up, and it's very frustrating. And it's across the board with lots of veterans and first responders that face some kind of adversity in their career. And I just realized that I had done a mud run, an obstacle course race. And my friend was a photographer and he took pictures. And when I saw the pictures, I just did not like the way I looked. I was very obese. I was almost 300 pounds. Everything was fat. I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel good carrying all this extra weight around. So I decided from that day that I was going to change. And I truly believe that fitness is what starts the discipline and the consistency, because when you in an exercise program or an exercise routine or doing some form of activity, you have to once again be uncomfortable doing that. And then once you get comfortable, that becomes a non-negotiable item. And that non-negotiable item keeps us going. It keeps us being more resilient. It keeps us being better. And so not only from a health standpoint of obviously being healthier, eating healthier, being stronger, being in better shape, but staving off some of the mental health issues because you're putting that energy into the gym. Fitness truly saved my life, and fitness is actually the first pillar or cornerstone of how I do my coaching.
Mhm. Absolutely. And was it more about the discipline or the endorphins or both?
Um, so it's kind of funny because, a lot of people when they look up things that they want to become or do or be, they want motivation and they want some form of motivation. But the problem is motivation is very unreliable. And even if you don't want to do it, if you can force yourself to do something each and every day, and sometimes you fall down and you get back up and you do it again, but it takes that multiple time. Discipline is what builds the consistency. Consistency is what builds the progress. And then progress is how we win. So it was just having to be disciplined to the point where working out for me, it's automatic. It's not something I think about. It's not something I dread. It's not something I say, I'm not going to do this today. It just happens automatically because now it's ingrained and rewired in my brain.
Mhm. And it's amazing how movement can become medicine in ways people don't always expect.
Yeah, I mean, I realized when I owned my gym that how important movement was, especially as we get older. I'm 48 now, and I want to have that elasticity to be able to go upstairs, to be able to just walk, run, jump, play with my kids, carry groceries, do those normal tasks that we kind of take for granted each and every day. And I remember in my training when I was coaching clients, and I'd have people all the time that would tell me, I'm not going to do a barbell back squat or I'm not going to do a deadlift. These movements that seem hard and impossible. And I would start them at a basis, at a very low starting point, and tell them, okay, sit down on this bench. Now stand up, and have them do that over and over again until they started to build that movement of actually squatting and getting up. And then before you know it, they would have the bar on their back. And then after that, they would have weight on the bar. And then after that, they're making personal bests. And these are all older adults that didn't think they could do this, but it helped them get rid of back pain. It helped them get rid of knee problems. It helped them obviously lose weight. So fitness is definitely very important. Health, nutrition, overall well-being to the whole holistic part of our healing and our longevity.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, mindset is such a buzzword these days, but you have lived its real meaning. How do you define mindset, and what mindset shift was most critical in your journey?
So, my definition of mindset, and that's a great question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. It's just rewiring your brain from a negative standpoint to a positive standpoint. Our brain is like a supercomputer. And if we look at our brain like a computer or a car engine, it the brain needs a tune up. Like you have to take care of your brain. It's a muscle, just like when we lift weights. It's something that we have to put value in, whether that's reading or taking the right supplements or eating healthy. I had a neuroscientist on my show, and we were talking about obesity and how obesity can actually give you more degenerative brain disease. So mindset is a overall holistic well-being of our brain, in my opinion. And my greatest mindset shift, I would say, is just deciding to be thankful for what I had. Because at the end of the day, I was always miserable, but I realized that my life wasn't that bad, and I had a lot more than what other people probably did. And I had to remember that no matter where you are at in life and what stage of life you are in, there's always somebody that's worse off than you, and they're having a more rougher time than you. And that was even shown in a guest I interviewed, that he had stage 4 cancer, but he fought and fought and fought. So, mindset shift for me is just being grateful for everything that's around me.
That's amazing. So, how do you help clients reframe limiting beliefs when they feel stuck?
So I always like to say I have a limitless belief system instead of a limiting belief system. And that starts, I look at their overall health first. If they're working out or doing some form of activity, what their nutrition and diet looks like, because emotional eating, binge eating, and just unhealthy habits is the start of what I have to change to get you to progress. I have to help you start building healthy habits instead of bad habits. From there, we go to mindset shifts. That can look like journaling, practicing gratitude, talking to people and having difficult conversations with the people you're avoiding. Once again, that whole feeling of being comfortable and being uncomfortable and facing those fears, those struggles, that adversities that they hang on to. And I'm noticing through clients that have some sort of trauma, whether it's some sort of abuse or spousal abuse or addiction, when I can get them to focus on goal setting, specific goals, whether that's they want to lose weight, whether they want to get a promotion, whether they want to start their own business, and I can put them on that path to setting goals and focusing solely on those goals, the trauma doesn't necessarily go away, but they're able to overcome a lot of things, and they're able to be successful and kind to start to forget of all those things that was causing them the mental health issues and the problems that kept them from going to where they need to be at.
That's such a grounded definition. It takes from my theory into action.
Definitely, I think from what the greats teach us, whether it's monks, whether it's gurus, whether it's religious leaders, we have to focus from within at first. If we can't heal the stuff that's going on in our heart and soul, we can't become the person we need to be. We have to be able to have that inner peace. It's so important. And I think once people find inner peace, it's always nice to have money and nice things and be successful. But just having that inner peace and knowing that you're okay and people love you and you're surrounded by friends and family and people who care about you is so important.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, in Battle Harder, you talk about turning pain into progress. What does that look like in practice for someone facing deep personal struggles?
Uh, Once again, great question. That's the whole mantra. That's the whole prognosis does everything what I do. It's looking, like I said, at the totality of their circumstances, how they're feeling, how they're acting in society, their overall health and fitness and nutrition, and just not even just mindset shifts alone, but just making healthier habits and better choices, especially for us in the United States. We're a nation that is primarily obese, and that's due to overconsumption and to just not really putting a pause or limits on what we do for gratification and for quick insta quick gratitude or quick to have that quick food. We get everything around us so quickly, whether it's Amazon, whether it's you can get anything at a snap of a finger. But true progress, true health, inner health, it all takes time, and anything worth doing takes time. So it's having to sit that person down and have those tough conversations with them and say, look, I can help you, I can change you, I can help you become the best version of yourself, but it's going to take time, and you ultimately have to be the one responsible for doing the work. At the end of the day, I can help a million people, but I can't help a million people if they can't look with inside and do the work themselves. So it starts from within and wanting to make that change.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, how can someone tell the difference between pushing through pain versus needing to pause and heal?
I think it starts with internal dialogue. Um, I was actually talking to one of my friends at the gym today, and he was telling me a story of how he was working for a grocery store chain and he wanted to be a manager there, and he kept asking and they kept putting him off, and he kept asking for full time and he kept putting him off, and they kept asking for whatever he wanted to be the best he could, and very hard worker, always show up on time, always do extra work, always leave late, and they just kept putting him aside, putting him aside, putting him aside. And he told me that internally, staying there, it didn't feel right, that he felt like something was off. He wanted to be the company man, but it just didn't feel right. And long story short, today he went to another grocery store chain where they automatically gave him a promotion to manager. They made him full time, they paid him more. And I think it's not pain like I'm in pain, like my knee hurts or my back hurts. It's heartfelt pain. It's pain in my soul that says, this is not working. This is not right. There has to be more. There has to be better. And my heart hurts. And in order to heal my heart, I have to start being the person I need to be.
Mm-hmm. That balance of grit and grace is so needed and so hard to navigate sometimes.
Definitely, I agree. I think you have to learn to be very in tune with yourself, whether that is, I think a lot of times, all of us, we need to have time during the day, during the week, whatever. You have to pause and just kind of sit in silence and kind of listen to what, whether it's the universe or God or whatever you believe in, speak back to you, and how you feel internally, to be able to start to really focus and heal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, what's one fitness or mindset practice you believe everyone should try, regardless of where they are starting?
I think one of the simplest and most overlooked things in the fitness industry is just going for a walk. A lot of people, when they see fitness, they get confused, they get upset, they get anxious because there's so many things out there. There's so many things available to us to try to do whatever. So I would say if you don't know what to do, just going for a walk, and it doesn't have to be any specific distance or time. It's totally based on your comfortability, your fitness level. But if you could just walk around the block one time, and then, over weeks you build up to two times, and over weeks you build up to three times, the power of just walking, especially if you can walk outside, is so amazing. And most people have found that are in a constant fitness routine, when they do take the time just to do extra walking, they see that much more health benefits. It's low impact. Uh, every time I've had back injuries from my military career, I walk. Walking has loosened up my back and helped me heal. I think that's a very underrated thing in society, that people think they have to go to the gym and always lift weights or run or swim or bike. Just go for a walk, go be outside, be in the sun, have some quiet time. If you're at work, walk around your building. And just that small shift alone, if you did nothing else, would still have huge benefits over your overall health.
Absolutely. So, how can someone build consistency when motivation fades?
You just have to want it. There's a saying that, the only bad workout is the one that didn't happen. I myself don't always have the best workouts. I myself don't always put up personal numbers when I'm lifting weights or doing a run. I myself still have bad days or days where I just have no energy, or maybe I didn't sleep well. It's that 1% every day, making a commitment to yourself where you do it anyway, regardless of the outcome. And over time, that's what builds the consistency and the discipline. It's not whether you feel like it or not. It's just putting one foot in front of the other and doing the work, no matter what the progress is that comes out on the other end of that.
That's gold. Consistency really is the secret sauce, isn't it?
I definitely believe so. That's one thing that's beautiful about being in the military, is that they beat discipline into our bodies and our brains, which a civilian person might not understand. That truly is the key to accomplishing anything, is doing the hard things whether we want to or not.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So, Rob, thank you for sharing your courage, your wisdom, and your heart with us today. Listeners, if Rob's story resonated with you, check out Battlefitted and his podcast, Battle Harder, to dive deeper into building resilience and reclaiming your strength. This is Inner Peace, Better Health, where every conversation is an invitation to rise stronger. So, until next time, take care of your mind, your body, and